cousins. Welcome to another episode of Thank You for My Freedom. My name is April, and I've been a nurse practitioner for the past 14 years, servicing our veterans for 5 years. I assess them for their disability benefits. And what I have come to learn is that veterans feel that their voices aren't heard and that their concerns are just everything is just invisible. So we are here today for veterans, their families, active and non-active service members to talk, educate, uplift, and to give you a platform for your voice. And if you hear me call you cousins, that's because if I see you out in the street and something were to go down, baby, I'm gonna call on my cousins because that's what we used to do back in the day in our neighborhood when I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Call my cousins, and I know you'll be there to help me out. I just know it. We're not blood, but we're family. So let's get to it, cousins.
Mm.
Okay, so today we have Jeffrey, and he is a Marine. Is a Marine? Yeah, once a Marine, always a Marine, right? Isn't that what they say?
That's right.
Marine we can use.
It's time.
Let's move on to the icebreaker. So, with the icebreaker, what's going to happen is you are going to tell me two truths and a lie, but the truths are going to be so crazy that you probably should have kept them to yourself. So, let's go, Jeffrey. Tell me three things, and I'm going to try to see if I can tell which one is the lie or the something that's not the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. I ran a marathon in Africa and it was 115 degrees outside.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I went to the top of Mount Fuji in
Okay.
Japan and I just hated my time in the Marine Corps.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay, so I can believe that you probably climbed Mount Fuji. Um, and running a marathon in Africa at 115. I mean, it's definitely going to be 115 degrees somewhere in Africa. Which country in Africa?
Abidjan. I was on the Ivory
Abidjan.
Coast, the Ivory
Oh,
Coast in
oh,
Abidjan.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
definitely have not been to Abidjan. I'm going to have to look them up. Okay, so hated your time in the Marines. I think we know which one is not the truth. You did not hate your time while you were in the Marines. Is that correct?
That is correct, Commander.
That's correct.
Okay, great. So, Jeffrey, tell us, what did you do when you were in the Marines and what are you doing now?
During my Marine Corps years, I was a Marine security guard. I was a Marine marksmanship instructor on Parris Island, South Carolina. Uh, I was stationed on a few guided missile nuclear cruisers as
Mm-hmm.
Marine security guard. And I was stationed at MCRD San Diego. I did some hand-to-hand combat training, some counterterrorism training, and I'm actually going to college full-time, 12 credits.
That's a lot of years, Tony.
I go into a few facilities. I'm doing the paperwork now. It's a long process to be certified to go into the prison system and speak to young men and some of them don't have a choice. They don't really have options left. They're going to be there for the rest of their lives. The university I attend is the university where the young man Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and I was
Mm,
about 200 yards away from that when that happened. And in my military experience, if I think, and I felt like if I had been outside, like I'm always looking for certain things. It's that natural thing that's put into you
mm-hmm.
as a soldier. Like you always have that sense, and as a soldier, your vision is probably different than most
Right.
people. To this day, I never sit in a restaurant with my back to the door.
Right.
Yeah, I
That's very important. I did learn that never sit my back towards the door unless the person that's facing the doors that I'm out with is going to pay attention to the door. But somebody between me and them, somebody needs to pay attention to the exit and what's
military
happening.
training. I'm also a part of my church safety teams.
Okay. So tell us when you say Camp Lejeune, what does that mean? You all were drinking contaminated water, right?
Well, at the time, in hindsight, when I look back at my time on Camp Lejeune, I can almost remember what they would bring out to the field, what they call water buffaloes. And I vividly remember asking one of my commanders, about the taste and the smell of the water at that time. And he told me that it was water purification tablets. You don't think twice about what your commanders and what people tell you. But in
Right.
hindsight, when I look back at it, I think about why would you need water contamination pills for water, fresh water that came from the base?
Or Camp Lejeune symptoms, excuse me, which include different things like anemias, different types of neurological effects as far as numbness and tingling and dizziness and headaches and nausea, memory loss, unexplained weight changes, and things like that.
After I got over my anger portion and I had separated myself from the VA, I realized that that's the wrong thing to do.
I mean, I could admit when I'm wrong.
And I realized that that it's a long process, and they don't know what they don't know. And if I disconnect from the services, then they have no way of knowing what the veteran is going through unless we communicate that to them.
But I understand that it can get frustrating. You apply. Sometimes the medical records are lost. Sometimes they tell you they can't find them. Sometimes the medical records are in another building they weren't looking for. And sometimes, you may get a provider that looks at things and may say, like, no, everything is fine. You look like you're fine. You walked in here just fine on your own 2 feet. Yeah, you don't need nothing. You're allowed to be frustrated and take a break and then come back. But as long as you didn't give up.
Well, you have to come back next Tuesday to see the rest of the interview. Bye, cousins. See you next week.
You still where the fear runs deep, where the silence don't let you sleep. You carry more than we'll ever know, through the fire and through the unknown. Some scars don't fade with time. Some stories hide behind your eyes. You gave more than words could say. You still stand strong every day. Underappreciated and overlooked. They don't know about the sacrifice it took. Giving up and knowing every life's just a fight for our rights. The type of weight that's heavier than a look. Yet you still carry it, led by duty in the name of America, the land of the free. For both you and me, where my dreams can be reality, not make believe. Thank you for my freedom, for the price you chose to pay. We see your worth and your dedication. You inspire others every day, exemplifying what it means to be brave, to defend the very place that I was raised. So thank you for my freedom, yeah. Thank you for my freedom, yeah.